I think we've had a really good first week as far as school goes. I know, like I said, it's kind of a slow roll in the first week of school. First day, we got our seats and we filled out that question form about me in the class. And we started the student survey where I asked you 18 questions about yourself. And then I answered all your questions. And we went over class expectations. We worked on the social contract, which is here, which you guys just signed. Thank you for doing that. And then yesterday we took a pre-test, and most of you finished, some of you didn't. Just again, remind me to make sure that you get that finished. We finished class expectations. So today I'm going to go over something important because it's something we do weekly in this class, and that is annotating historical documents. So you probably have annotated in all of your classes, but I do it a little different, okay? And I actually give you points for annotating according to a specific way. So I definitely want you to know how to do that and do it correctly so you can get full points on your assignments. So first off, let's just start off with an easy question. Probably by now you're 10th, 11th, 12th grade. What is a primary source? Yeah, it could be a historical document, a letter, a map, the Constitution, a photograph, speech, anything else you can think of? Yep.
Okay, pretty much anything that was original.
Yes. Original at the time, written by an original source. Yes. Okay, so then a textbook is called a what? Secondary source. Yep. So primary source, secondary source. So in history class, I like to have you guys read from actual people, and we do a ton of documents in here. Tons of speeches in pre-AP. Not so much in AP, we do a little bit of that, but that's what 10th grade history is for all the base of all the big documents. And then, so weekly you will do that, and I give you points for annotating, and so we're gonna talk about that. I think history class should be more than just like a textbook, and you'll see in this class it is, because I promise you the documents that I give you in class, I have read them all, I have annotated them myself. They are not boring documents. I'm never going to give a student, a teenager, something that I find myself boring, okay? So you may not love history, and that's okay, but I think you'll get a lot from reading the stuff that I'm going to show you. Some of them are very like controversial, provocative, thought-provoking, and so forth. So good on that. So when I give you a historical document, a speech, a letter, something, here's what I want you to do to it. And we're going to practice today on two articles that I really like that will spark a lot of conversation in this class. And so let's do that. So, oh my goodness, this is my life. This is my life. Yes. Try. All right, so I'm gonna make some document here. Okay, so there is a 4-paragraph letter right there, okay? And so, or let's just make it an inaugural address. This is JFK's inaugural address that he gave when he was elected president in 1960. And does anybody know what famous one-liner was in his inaugural address that he said that everybody pretty much has heard? Even if you don't know right now, you've heard it. Very famous JFK line.
Is it it's not what you can do, it's not what your country, wait, how do you say that?
That's not what your country can do for you.
It's what you
can do for your country. Very good, very good. Yeah. So like JFK was really big about getting volunteers in America. He started the Peace Corps where you go serve for 2 years in a third world country and help these people. Like he was all about, having Americans stand up and do something. It was really kind of cool. So let's say that that is this case. I am videoing right now. What do you need?
Basically just read, or she's just asking if you have these like highlighted Chromebooks. It's like she's said to write yes or no on the paper if you have them or not. It's only like 2, I think. I mean, if it's that time, I think, or something.
Yeah, probably so, because I'm actually going to be doing the lesson.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Do you know the schoonover in this?
Yep, Schoonover's right next to me.
Like, well, I know that. I checked her room, but do you know where?
See, it's her prep period right now.
Okay.
Don't know. Thank you. That's the story of my life. The one class I record, I get interrupted. That's okay though. That's real life, people. Okay. So let's say this is JFK's inaugural address, you know, and so forth. And so we're reading it. And a couple of things I want you to do on every document that you do. So most of the documents have pretty decent margins. So after you start to read, let's say you start a couple lines in, you're like, wow, that is good. So you can underline the awesome part, you can kind of circle the awesome part, or you can highlight, okay? So we want to underline, /circle, /highlight, awesome points, okay? I personally don't use highlighters. Just to me, I like to get done as quick as I can. Okay, I got a life, you know. So I don't use a lot of highlighters, but if you love highlighters, that's perfectly fine as well. But certainly an underline or a star to the side or a circle, that if you come across something like, wow, that was good, then you need to do that, okay? Underline, circle, highlight, /star, the awesome points from each article as you're reading, like, man, that's good, okay? Like, you want to remember that. Additionally, you need to summarize kind of the main points in the side, okay? So, like, let's say we get to this, and it's like, JFK wants Americans to volunteer. Okay, so that's like maybe the main point of that paragraph. Jump down to the next paragraph. JFK is inspiring people to reach out to foreign countries. Okay, so something like that. So every paragraph does not need to be summarized, but if there is something awesome in that paragraph, drop it in the sidebar. Just a line, okay, a line or two. Also, if something is awesome in the sidebar, drop it a comment. Be like, I totally agree with this. I agree, or this is awesome. You can write your own comments on the side, but the main point of annotating for me is you take a document and you're summarizing the main points out to the side. The idea is you're underlining the most important things, you're summarizing to the side, so you may not have to go back and utilize the entire document ever again because you've already taken your notes on it. Your annotate. So to annotate actually means to take notes, to write on. So if I give you a document and I say, okay, the typical assignment in pre-AP or honors history is read, annotate, and answer. You guys will do that for me all year long. Read, annotate, answer, but you're gonna read some awesome things in here. Like, I think they're awesome. You're gonna read some cool things. Read, annotate, answer. Read the document, annotate as you're reading it. And then I always usually attach about 5 to 7 questions at the end to really just make you think about the document itself. Okay, read, annotate, answer. So, underline, circle, highlight, awesome points, that's definite. And then you need to summarize key points in the margins. Okay. Now, if you turn me in a document that just has highlights or just has underlines, you will get no credit for that. That only tells me you can highlight and you can underline, okay? It tells me nothing. So sometimes the typical length of an article that I'll give you is 3 to 4 pages, okay? I've got one that's like 19 pages long. Don't freak out about that. I give you tons of time to do it, and it's quite good. It's quite interesting. Don't worry about that. I give you plenty of time to do it. So if you turn me in a document that is literally just highlighted and underlined, that's 0 points. You get nothing for showing me you can highlight and underline. How do you earn points on an annotation? These things, the summations and your comments if you should have some. What I don't want to happen is on a document you turn it in and out to the side you write, cool, wow, Yay! One word, little things, no. Now you may see me on my examples do that a few times, but like by and large, that can't be your annotations. That can't be it. So I believe in annotations so much in 10th grade that I give you 5 points a page just for your annotations, and you'll see that. And if your annotations are horrible, you won't get the full 5 points per page. You may get 3 out of 5. So let's say it's a four-page speech by Abraham Lincoln. So that's 16 points just for your annotations. Okay, so like 16-point assignment. I'll add 5 questions to it. Each question's worth 2 points. So that's 26 points per assignment. That's about average for all of the annotations assignments. You read, annotate, and answer. It's gonna be about 25, 26 points for every time you annotate for me. And that'll be weekly in here. The tests in here are 100 points, and we test about every 2 weeks, and every single test is a little bit different, and I'll give you plenty of advance notice on that and what they will be. And next week, on Monday specifically, after we discuss the articles we're about to annotate, I'm gonna go into the details of the class, the details of history, how to history, and we'll go over that so you'll really understand the class in itself. Are there any questions about annotating a document in here and my expectations for how you do it? Summarizations on the side, comments on the side, highlight, underline, circle key things. And that's how you would get 5 out of 5 on each page. Okay. And when I grade assignments, let's say that was 26 points, so you could get a 26 out of 26 at the top of your page. That means you did it to expectation. You answered the questions correctly, and you did a good job, okay? I don't do a lot of completion grades, so pretty much expect me to read your answers on your responses. Okay, so what I'm gonna show you is some examples before I allow you to give this a shot. It's not difficult work by all means. I have 2 articles that you're gonna read written by a college history professor. And he has some really good words to say about you as a student and the proper attitude we should have towards school, towards history class. I really love what he did here in these articles. So this first one is just called The Proper Attitude, okay? And you can see here, I've got some underlines and I've got some comments, okay? This one's not really annotated probably to expectation. This is mine, and I probably would only give myself like 4 out of 5 on some of these. Some of them look a little bare, but well, yeah. I probably didn't use this as the best example. This is more to show you what one looks like without any highlights, okay? No highlights in this or anything, but there's things underlined, and then I've got summations to the side or comments. This is what one would look like with highlights, okay? Again, highlights are fine, but don't get carried away with highlighting, whereas the point of it is, to make sure that you're gaining the biggest points, you're starring the biggest things. So you can highlight, or you can underline and star, but the most important things are the things on the side, the summarizations. You don't have to write a book on the side, by all means. 1 or 2 lines, fine. Phrases are fine. Something that brings you back to it. Okay, so that's what it would look like. Okay, any questions about that?
We're gonna get to annotate the Constitution.
Portions, so like in AP Gov, we go line by line, that whole baby, but probably not in pre-AP or not in honors. I keep calling it pre-AP, that's what it used to be. So probably not the whole thing, but we certainly spend some time on it, okay? Any other questions about annotating? Okay, I'm going to turn these loose to you. You're gonna do this, you're gonna start doing it. You're gonna read, annotate. There's no questions on this one, but Monday when you walk in, they're due, okay, for credit, and we're gonna discuss them. They're really pretty good. I think you'll like them. So, for you at home, I did post these to Google Classroom. I don't know if you have print capabilities. If you can print them off, do so. If not, I'll give them to you Monday and you can turn them into me Tuesday. Hopefully you got that lesson. All is good.